Welcome back, realvacantland.com. This is Luke Smith. I've got another property for you. I'm excited to bring this one to the table. I've been researching this one a good deal, and it's a commercial property. This isn't where you want to build a house. This is where you want to build a business to pay for your house, right? Pay for your lifestyle. And so let's take a look at this thing. There's a bunch of traffic that goes by out front. There's a lot of shops around it. They're doing business, so I know somebody can do business here too. Doing some research, I found like a Napa Auto Parts would be a good business here. There's all kinds of businesses that could go here, but let's go down the rabbit hole and I'll show you what I'm finding. Okay, so we're on ruralvacantland.com, asking $120,000 for this property. It's the Luke Smith phone number on here. To get to the phone number, click on it, call me. Hit the link in the description of this video below. It'll take you back to this website. You can click on it and give me a call. We've got hundreds of properties spread across the country, all kinds of different vacant land to choose from. There's map searches and for different areas you want to look at properties and stuff. But for this one's just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Valdez. Okay, we've got some diagrams that show the property. Busy street corner. There's a Dollar General next to it. There's a Food Lion behind it. There's fix your car stuff over here, the Auto Sound. There's a warehouse across the street. This is the main street through town. There's a McDonald's just down the street here a little bit. There's Pizza Hut and a bunch of pizza stores, restaurants, and things going up the street. So they're on both sides of us. So here's some street views. This is a back street of it. There's two different street approaches. This is the back side where there's not as much traffic, but you could put some signage and stuff up here. The next street over has more of the traffic. So that last street view is just over here. This side's got a lot more of the traffic, and we'll jump into that as well. So here's Main Street. There's a Japanese restaurant across the street. I think they were something else. They just turned into a Japanese restaurant. It's got the utilities right there. Here's a diagram of it. Here's a shape of it. Okay, so we're jumping into the maps. So now we're in the maps. You can play with these maps on ruralvacantland.com. Again, hit that link in the description. It'll take you back to the website. You can play with these maps. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can even get yourself dizzy spinning around, looking at it from different angles and everything, right? Okay, one more and we'll be back to where we started. Now I got lost. Okay, there, north is north. Okay, so we're zooming out. You can see that the things here on the main street, and there's all kinds of shopping up and down this street. We hit the maps. So here's the Food Lion next door. Here's Valdez. There's the McDonald's. The interstate is below. That's Interstate 40. And if we zoom out a little bit more, we've got, where'd it go? Charlotte down here. So here's Charlotte, North Carolina. And the property is, where'd the property go? Valdez. So here's the property. Charlotte's right here. So it's not in town. It's a ways out of town. But for reference, that's where we're at. Okay, so let's jump out of there and let me just refresh that so we zoom back in to the maps. So now, why am I talking about Napa? I was thinking about different kinds of restaurants or locations that could go here. So I started typing them in, right? And I've got this search engine is Crexy. I'm looking at Crexy, and I think it's a lot of fun to look at Crexy because you can take different kinds of, coffee places or burger places or something and put them in the search criteria, and you get a whole bunch of them, and you can sort them by how much money they're making. These are the ones that are for sale, right? And so how much money are they making? What they're selling on this website is the real estate. It's not the business, it's the real estate. So if I'm a developer and I buy this land from Luke or whoever, go buy land out there, hopefully not from somebody else. Hopefully you buy from me, but I'm agnostic. I get it. So let's say Luke's got the best deal. You buy some land from Luke and you go to one of these companies, a contractor or something, or you're the contractor and you say, okay, I'm going to build a XYZ business here. And I'm going to get a lease from somebody who knows how to operate this business, because the same people that build them aren't usually the same people that operate them, but maybe they are. And so you get a lease from one of these people, and hopefully they've got a big name and a customer base and everybody knows their brand and all that kind of stuff. And it makes it really easy to go to the bank. And you go to the bank and you say, bank, I got a lease from XYZ business over here, Starbucks, for example. I started looking at Starbucks. Maybe I could put a Starbucks on this corner. And so let's say Starbucks wanted to put a Starbucks here, and I got a deal with them. And I go to the bank, and say, okay, I got a deal with Starbucks. They're gonna build it. If I build it, they'll move in, and I got a lease with them as soon as it's up and going. And it's for 15 years or 20 years or whatever. And here's the rents, and here's the payment table, what they're gonna pay me. And the bank says, okay, we know we got somebody that's willing to pay the rent. We got somebody that's got the property. Let's put them together. Let's grease the gears. Let's put up, give them the money to build this thing. Let's make sure they've got a little bit of money in the game. Make sure that they're alive and they care what's going on. And then you go build it, right? So what is the business that goes here that fits this property that I could do that with? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So that's what I'm researching. So I was looking at Starbucks and I was sorting them by net operating income. And that's how much rent you get out of one of these properties a year from the person who's operating the property, right? And I couldn't find a Starbucks that fits the demographics and the population and the traffic of this property. And I'm not saying it doesn't work here. I just couldn't find one that fits. So I started searching other stuff. And I figured auto parts, because there's a Dollar General next door and there's a grocery store on the other side. I think coffee, but maybe like a coffee shop would go here, would be great, or a donut shop like a Dunkin' Donuts would probably work great. I couldn't find a Dunkin' Donuts with the demographics and the traffic that fit. So I did auto parts. And I started going down the list. I started at the big, crazy trophy properties with crazy amounts of people around that cost ridiculous amounts of money to buy, and went down the list to find some that fit. And so I went down the auto parts rabbit hole and I found this one. And so this one, it's been on the market for 16 days. It's O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and they're asking $2.3 million. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of small right here. This is not my property. It's somebody else. They're asking $2.3 million. The cap rate that they're asking for to sell this thing is, it's kind of off the screen, but it's 4.25%. I don't know, maybe they get that, but the ones I've been seeing stuff going in today's market, a little bit closer to 5, but maybe they're in, whatever. It's a new build and stuff. I think it's a new build. Year built 2021. So it was built last year. So it's pretty new built, right? They're selling this thing for $310 a square foot, and construction costs in this area are closer to $100 a square foot. On houses, commercial is going to be, probably something more than that, but I don't think it's going to be the $300 a square foot. This is a 7,500 square foot building. This property size is 0.69 acres. 0.69 acres. Okay. So ours is 1.23 acres. So 1.25. It's a goofy shape. You're going to have setbacks along here. There's going to be a bunch of this corner you can't really use. I mean, you put your signs out there and you put your dancing guy with a weird, outfit on and, dress him up like an air filter or something. Come get your new air filters. I don't know, whatever you sell, you get your advertising out there in the corner. And then there's a stoplight here, and they require 180. I forget the numbers. 180 foot away from the stoplight before you can have a driveway, which is like right in here. So you can put your driveway along here and turn in. So people can turn in. They can go and get in and out of here. And you have your store, and you have your parking. You can use a lot of this setback stuff for parking. So we're like twice the size. We're twice the size is what I'm trying to say of this other one that's up for sale. Their NOI on this thing is 98,000 change. So they're renting this building for almost $100,000 a year. They build it, and then they've got 6% increases in rent in year 11 and 16. And the lease has options to go on and on from there. So hopefully the tenant sticks around forever and goes for it. So this is an O'Reilly. So if you build an O'Reilly's, great. Now I pulled up our property And then we can do this. If you're on ruralvacantland.com, you got this map up here. You got, see this says Google in the bottom corner? I hit the Google button, right? People ask me questions. I'm like, you know where you can find that? You can find that on Google, right? So hit the Google button. Let's find the answer. So I'll pull this up, and there's a property right here between Dollar General and Food Lion. And okay, so we do auto parts. And let me see what we get. There's an O'Reilly's down the street. I think that's it though. Oh, there's an AutoZone. Okay. So there's an O'Reilly's over here and there's an AutoZone over here. So every town I go to has got more than one auto parts store. I mean, if it's a really podunk town that only makes up one auto parts store. So O'Reilly's is doing business and AutoZone is doing business. We could probably go dig into them and study them more before you made the jump. But for the presentation value of this, I'm not going to spend that much time on it. We could put a Napa right in between, right? Napa, if you guys don't know, Napa, I was researching auto parts franchises, and Napa comes up at the top of the list. And Napa touts its no franchise fees as a great reason to join its team and become a store owner. They got a 10-step process to setting up a Napa shop. And they say you should have between 75 grand and 100 grand available at the time, beginning the application process. So like you want to have 100 grand available to go set up a Napa shop. This is what they're talking about. I went on to Napa's website, and this is the, own a store. This is a franchise stuff. Here's a guy saying, welcome to the team. Here's what we do. There's our 10-step process. And, click, and they'll walk you through setting up a Napa shop without franchise fees. They want you to sell their stuff, right? I mean, that's pretty cool. You can set up a Napa. You could have like a cement block basic building like this. How many Napa stores have you guys ever been to? I've been to a bunch of Napa stores. I can't stand paying mechanics to fix my car. They take forever, and they charge a lot of money. I just look it up on YouTube and how to blah blah blah, and change. It's usually some bolts and nuts, and take them off and put some new parts on there and put it back together, and we're off to the races, right? Napa usually has the parts. And so I've been to a bunch of Napa stores to get the parts to fix all my old cars. I never buy a new car, right? I'm the old car guy. And they're really basic stores, really, really basic built, really basic things, and usually have nice customer service. They help you make it happen. You set one of these things up, you pay rent to a developer, or you could go find somebody that wants to run one of these things. You build one of these stores, you find somebody that wants to go through this process and operate one of these stores who's worth their salt and making it happen, like this guy, right? This is a store operator guy, and go sell auto parts and pay rent. So you could use this property to do that, and you get it all set up. You could walk away with, well, it looks like what these people are doing. If you did it, $100,000 a year income off the property, O'Reilly's, Napa, whatever brand is on there. You set it up and sell the property. You could sell it at a 5 cap kind of thing. These people are coming up with 2.3 million. And so I didn't get to my point. So I pulled up the demographics. And so the demographics on this particular store, this is what I was trying to say. Why this store? Population, 27,000 in a 5-mile radius. Ours is 25 and change. That's really close. The 3-mile radius, ours is 13,000. Theirs is 15,000. It's pretty close. This is the closest one I could find. And then ours is like 2,500. Theirs is like 2,300. Now, in household incomes, this is 44. Ours is more like 55. Theirs is 43 and 45. Ours is what, like 20% higher incomes than this one. And you can go and look at traffic and stuff too. I think ours, I'm not going to go dig into it right this second because I don't have the maps on the screens, but ours is like 8,000 or 9,000 cars a day going by right in front of the shop, and theirs is more like 5,000 and 6,000 cars a day. So we got more traffic, we've got more income in the area. They've got a little bit more population than us in the area to draw off of. And so we could compare these things to lots of these different shops that are happening, and the demographics and the incomes of the area and the traffic, to line up a valuation of what could be built here and what could happen. And so this area is missing in Napa. It's between O'Reilly's and AutoZone, and they're doing business. They're alive. They're not shutting down. They're happening. And yeah, there you have it. There's a use that you could use this property for. Napa Auto Shop. And so if you want to go build a Napa or something like it, you find some better use for this property, let me know. Property's ready to go. It's ready to be built on. It's just sitting there waiting for you. This is Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com, bringing you some more cheap, easy land. See you in the next one.